Hello, everyone. I'm pleased to be joined by Dawn from the International Authority of Professional Coaches and Mentors. She's going to help me explain to you all about accreditation. In fact, what I'm going to do is now let Dawn introduce herself more officially, because she's a wonderful person.
Thank you, Graham. We just had a trolley walk past the door, the window, if you were wondering what that is. So I'm Dawn Campbell. I'm the business director at the IAPC&M, as it's affectionately known. And we're experts in accreditation. That's all we do. That's our core business. And we've been doing it since 1998.
Okay, thank you for that, Dawn. So you're going to tell me about the agenda?
Yes, so very briefly, I've put together the sort of questions that typically I get asked by students on training courses. And the biggest one that always comes up is, what is the difference between accreditation versus certification? So I'm in the next 10-15 minutes or so going to take you through all of this, Graham.
Okay, lovely, thank you. So accreditation versus certification, do you want to let me know?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously you give your students a certificate when they've been on their coaching and excellence course and they've achieved everything that they need to do. You give them a certificate and it has our logo and details on it. That means you've had your course independently assessed by an independent third party, somebody who's approved to do this for you. So by definition, accreditation is one step higher than certification. So that puts it in its simplest terms. I think if we think back to our education days, when you go to a university, who gives the university permission to give a certificate for their courses? So the universities go to a higher body and have their courses approved and checked, authenticated and verified, which enables them to give out diplomas and PhDs and so on. So it's that same sort of principle.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that sort of that helps my clients sort of understand why we certificate via the IAPC&M.
Exactly.
Thank you. So why does your accreditation status matter?
I think it's important to think about back to when you went for your accreditation, Graham, not just for your own personal status, but for the status of your course offering within Try Coaching. It creates this massive differentiator. It says that you have achieved a certain level of professional standards in the industry. It gives you formal recognition of the training, your certification, your experience, your capability, credibility, integrity, etc. It sort of pulls all that together, that just because we're in the business of having a conversation, a lot of people might just take for granted, but accreditation is about making the profession professional. So we have some standards and ethics which you and training providers sign up to. Everybody signs our code of professional conduct. And I think ultimately it's about having pride in your profession, the same as if you were a therapist or a solicitor or a doctor, etc. It really proves that you care about the end user. You're supporting and protecting your clients' mental health and well-being, and of course their hard-earned cash. So you're saying to the world, I'm properly trained, I'm insured if your country offers insurance, and I've had all of that verified, authenticated by an independent third party. I know I'm a best-in-class practitioner. I know I have the capability to deliver the coaching that I've said that I'm going to offer you.
Okay, thank you, Dawn. That's really useful. Thank you. Okay. So I suppose, you know, let's plug the IAPC&M. Why choose them?
Well, you know, obviously, I think we're the best. We're unique. We're specialists. As I said at the beginning, this is all we do. It's our core business. So we don't have any side hustles. You know, we're not running our own training courses. We're totally independent. We don't have shareholders to report to who are looking at our figures every month, say, how many coaches have you signed up? That's never been our remit. We want to work with people who are in it for the long haul, people who join us as practitioners And then they will be supported by us and other training organizations such as yourself, because they want to upgrade their skills, and then they become seniors and they become masters, and then like you, they become a fellow. So it's very important to us that we look after our members and we have a relationship with them. If they're looking for a transactional deal, then we're probably not the best accreditation body for them, because we're a very hands-on, practical, available, supportive resource. And as the lovely Monique here says, who's based in America and is a master coach, you know, she's a member of several international organizations, and she gets way more exposure and opportunities through her accreditation and membership with us than she does with other organizations. So our code of conduct is very important. We don't charge for our CPD credits as some of the other accreditation bodies do. Our aims and objectives have always been the end user. We're not in the business of ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. As I say, how many have we signed up today? So we're never going to be the biggest coaching body around the world. That was never our objective. Our objective was to be the Rolls-Royce of the accreditation world. And occasionally we get some lovely PR and work opportunities in for our members as well. So that's kind of like a snapshot of why I think people should choose us. We're very personable. And unlike some of the other accreditation bodies, I've heard members say, you know, they're impenetrable. They're just not available in the same way that we are. So small is beautiful.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Dawn. That's really useful. Also, you've got at the bottom there the only accreditation body approved by the British Industry Ombudsman.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot that bit. I mean, that's really prestigious for some of our international clients. I know you're international as well, Graham. So clients and students in Northern European countries, in Asian countries, they love the fact that we're approved by the British Industry Ombudsman. We're the only one approved by the British Industry Ombudsman. So that can be really important to some people. So in the unfortunate event, you know, there is something that a student isn't happy about, or you as a training provider aren't happy about, you have this escalation process in the event you need to raise a complaint or you need mediation. So yeah, very important.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that. Cheers. So we know there's two routes to accreditation. Could you explain those two routes to accreditation for us, please?
Yeah. So you having invested and paid to have your course accredited, Graham, any of your students are going to come through the accredited training provider course route, the ATPCR. Anybody who hasn't come through an accredited training provider, as in that, you know, we don't know anything about them, then obviously they come through the portfolio route. And that means then that they have the choice of 4 levels of accreditation. A new practitioner is going to come in as an accredited practitioner coach. Somebody who joins your coach, because I know that you train coaches who want to upskill their coaching skills. So it's not just newbies, but you also train established coaches who want to do better and develop their business skills. So they might already be a senior coach, or somebody might have in-house coaching skills. So, you know, we're open and quite holistic and not at all prescriptive. What we work on is how many coaching hours have you got on your log? So there are 4 levels: practitioner, entry level, senior, master, and fellow, which is, as you say, the highest. And you know, it's all hours based because we're capabilities rather than competencies.
Yeah. Did you just want to, could you explain that capability rather than competence?
Yes, yeah. I mean, originally we worked on competencies, and what we found was there were, through complaints procedures, we realized that you could be really, really good at the theory of coaching, write a great thesis, send in your best recordings, and tick all the right boxes. It didn't mean you had the capability to deliver coaching. So 4 years ago, David and I did some work with Oxford Brookes University, and we changed our model to capabilities based. And that meant that we could be a lot more inclusive. So for instance, somebody like myself who's dyslexic, we didn't have masses of paperwork to fill in. It was a live coaching assessment call. It wasn't a role play, because let's face it, if it's a role play and a recording, you're going to send in your best recording, aren't you? So it's a live coaching call. We did away with the paperwork in terms of no essays, just a short self-reflection to do, and send in testimonials, certificates, etc. for your evidence portfolio. And we know with our experience, when you're in your coaching assessment call, whether you can coach. So it's really opened up the accreditation process to people who perhaps are not as academic as somebody else.
Yeah, that's really useful and really reassuring, probably to a lot of our clients, that you know, once they've gone through a course with us, they will have this opportunity and to feel credible about what they do, because they can actually deliver what they say they can.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and you've got value-added benefits. Tell us about those benefits, Dawn, please.
Well, it's an evolving package. I think I've just given up with trying to keep the brochure up to date. So as you can see, we have a checklist. So once somebody's accredited, they will get a PDF, a welcome checklist, and that will help them navigate the site and create their directory profile and so on. We have another blog called Coach Yourself, because we get a lot of inquiries saying, I can't necessarily afford a coach, or I don't really understand what coaching's about. Do you have any students who could coach me? So we thought, let's set up a Coach Yourself blog. Let's explain to the public what coaching is, how the results are derived, and help them with articles, tips, tools, so that they can go so far on their own. And then when they're confident, they've got the finances, and they understand what coaching is, they might resonate with a particular author of articles they've been following. They'll come back to our directory once they've gone as far as they can on their own and hire a coach. So that's just a little value added, something that's proving quite useful. And I've put our book here, How to Win and Keep Clients. It's a great business handbook, Graham, for all your student coaches, because it's written from a point of doing business in the future. It's heartfelt. Again, it's not ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It's relational. So it covers everything from marketing to networking, etc. So that's why I think it's a good business handbook, not just for coaches, for any entrepreneur, actually. And that's an initiative that we put together about 2 years ago. I strongly believe that everybody needs to be properly trained. They need to be insured if their country offers insurance. They need to be professionally accredited, and they need to have something, whether it's a signature program, a book, something that is going to set them apart. I think those 4 things create a massive differentiator. I mean, take the UK, for instance. You've got 130,000 people calling themselves coaches. Doesn't mean they're all properly trained. Doesn't mean they're all insured. Certainly doesn't mean they're professionally accredited. And so anything we can do to help our members stand out in a crowded market, or as we now say, a noisy digital space due to COVID, has got to be a good thing. So we project managed a book, and 80 people applied. We interviewed and whittled it down to 7, the magnificent 7, as I call them. And we've now got a published book on Amazon. So that's the sort of initiative, through listening to what our members need, that we come up with. I've got a couple of pages on value added, so I'll just scroll down. We have the business for coaches, which is a self-teach 12-month modular e-program. And in fact, this year, Nikki, the head of education, Nikki Wild, a corporate fellow coach, is bringing that to life. So once a month, she's doing a live webinar, so great for Q&As. And on the other side of the screen, I kind of think it's funny that we put together 11 hours. I know it says 12, but the first one was just an intro. 11 hours of recordings to get through your 30, 40, 50-minute live coaching assessment call, depending on what level you're applying for. But master coaches have said it was a fantastic refresher, and newbies are saying, oh, I'm not doing my assessment until I've listened to all 11 calls, because it's so fantastic. Feedback we've had is sometimes I wish I'd learnt this stuff on my coaching call.
Well, that's what I loved about it, because there's so much of what's in there is that what we deliver is it made it really reassuring for us when we sat down to take our capability interviews and our assessments, that your videos, watching your videos, reassured us that everything that we do, we're on the right path and we're taking our clients on the right path.
Yeah, fantastic. So some other value-added benefits is we set up Both Sides of the Coin, which is a great podcast, and it was voted in the top 7 of mentoring podcasts just recently. This is something that your students, when they're coaching, they can be interviewed by our podcast host, and they come with a client. So it shows the public, oh, I never thought you could be coached on something like that. So it's really interesting. They're very short. And the other thing is we launched our book review club. So we know there's so many fantastic books out there, Graham, so many classics, business books, health coaching books, etc. So little time to read them all. So we've got a team of volunteers who are reviewing the books, and it just means that you can read more books in less time. So that's 2 initiatives we launched this year that are going down well. We have the secure members area, which is currently under construction, but ultimately this is going to be an amazing resource. So new members who want, say, a contracts template or a testimonial template or a complaints template or a wealth of resources, that's where they're going to find it. And then we have lots of CPD. So for instance, you know, in today's market, as you say, with COVID going on, we recognize that mental health and well-being issues are through the roof compared to what they were before COVID. So, you know, we've got discounted mental health first aid training. For students who want to build their confidence and build their hours, we have a solution partnership agreement with Reciprocoach. We have discounted insurance. And we have professionally designed marketing material. Everything we do is communicated through the weekly bulletin. And then we kind of pull it all together once a year with a fantastic annual CPD event. And this year's event, which you attended, was sales related. So you know from that if the students had put themselves in front of these 13 speakers from around the world who are experts in their field, and had, you know, 60, 90, or even 120 minutes with these people, it would have cost thousands. That's all complimentary. So our members, we call them members because we're a community, but all people are paying for is their accreditation. Everything else is complimentary.
Wow.
So the return on investment is huge. Last year, it was about £6,000 worth. And of course, you know, we want people who are proud of their accreditation, the same as you want people who are proud to be part of the Try Coaching community. So we reward people by giving them an affiliation fee and to thank them for their referrals. What, if any, questions did that raise for you, Graham, or observations that you wanted to share, please?
I think what it said for me is that I'm proud that included in our course, we offer for free practitioner level entry to the IAPC&M. That is what we will do for all of our clients, and we will help all of our clients become accredited with your service because we think it gives excellent value for money.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think, yeah, we're coming to the nitty gritty, aren't we?
Okay, yep.
So the process that your students will go through, Graham, is you simply go online. We're a virtual business. Everything's automated. You go online, you pay, you choose your level. For many students from training providers, it's practitioner, but of course you're training experienced coaches as well. So it could, as I say, be senior. It doesn't matter what level, you all get the discounted faster track route because of the investment that Graham and Sue have made in having their course accredited. So for life, you will, when you upgrade, you will always benefit from that discounted route. You will get an email asking for your portfolio of evidence, which is exactly what it says on the website. It's your Try Coaching certificate, your coaching log, your CPD log, etc., etc. And you'll be invited to book your assessment call, 30 minutes if you're entry-level practitioner, 40 minutes if you're senior, 50 minutes if you're a master, and an hour long if you're applying for fellow. The only piece of work, unless you're a fellow, that you need to do is complete the self-reflection form, which is what worked well in that call. What would you do differently now? It's part of your ongoing CPD. You'll sign the professional code of conduct. You'll fill out the standards and ethics questionnaire. That's an awareness exercise. On successful completion, you'll be invited to upload your profile in the directory, which is where we're driving traffic. So a couple of months ago, we had our best month. We had over 40,000 people looking at the website, either to find a course or to find a coach. So that's really important. You'll get your certificate and logo, and that is all valid for 3 years, providing you maintain your annual renewal fee, which, by the way, haven't gone up in, I think, over a decade, and there are no plans for it to go up. And for that annual renewal fee, the practitioner level, as I say, is £140 a year plus VAT for the UK students. That's what, 38p a day, 35p a day. I don't know what you can buy in the UK, Graham, for 38p a day,
No,
but you're getting access to all of this.
Yeah, you'd struggle to get a cup of tea, I think.
Yeah. And of course, if you're introducing members, your affiliation fee could actually cover your annual renewal fees. So you could get all of that and pay absolutely nothing.
Okay, that is really good. Thank you, Dawn. So you've got this last slide, when to apply.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, people used to go on their coaching course and then approach us to say, I've just trained as a coach, now I need to become accredited. But in the last 2 years or so, we've realized a great deal more flexibility is required, because somebody might come to your course, Graham, and say, I've been an in-house coach for years, but I would like now a formal certification of being a coach. So we don't want to hold anybody back. And we also have students who, you know, are very determined. They want to build a coaching business. So why not let them build their business while they're studying? So they can apply for their accreditation day one of joining your coaching course. Of course, it doesn't mean that they're going to become accredited until they complete the criteria, but it does mean that they've got all the access to the CPD and the business building resources and access to David and I. So the two can work in tandem, and increasingly that's the route that students take. So it's entirely up to you. You can apply as and when you want, as quickly as you want. Depends on your domestic situation, whether you're working full time or whatever, but it's your journey. I always say to people, it's not a competition. Do what is right and works for you.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, that's really good news for all our students, because all of our students will be accredited with you. So they get access to you from the moment that they start our course on day one.
Fantastic. Okay. So I like to finish with Gandhi's quote, the future depends on what you do today. I firmly believe that, you know, whatever you're doing today, what you're eating, what you're reading, who you're hanging out with is going to, you know, determine who you are in a year's time and so on. So start acting as if now. And unless you've got anything else to add, Graham, you know, we look forward to welcoming your students to our growing global community.
No, I don't think, only to say thank you, Dawn. Thank you for your time. It's appreciated by us. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And at some point, when you have all your students together, don't forget, David and I are more than happy to just, you know, come on a Zoom call and do a live Q&A with your students, so they genuinely feel part of something bigger as well. So we're always here for you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for your time once
You're
again,
welcome.
Dawn. Cheers.
Thank you, Graham.
Bye-bye.